The Ticket. It's time for the KickAround, the Ticket's weekly show all about soccer. 2 hours of HSOs on the clubs, leagues, and tournaments of the world's game. It doesn't matter if you're new to the sport, don't worry. This is The Ticket. We're just kicking it around. Now, two guys who can never go the full 90. Andy Swift and Peter Welpton.
Stanisic, lovely ball that. Oh, it's brilliant! Petar Musa has given Croatia the lead. His first cap for 2 years.
Dallas's own Petar Musa. Hi-ho, P1s, and welcome back to the KickAround. Every few Saturdays around some sort of celestial event here on Sports Radio 96.7 and 1310 The Ticket, where you, the P1s, sit around, talk soccer, and all that implies. Hello again, my dear friend. It is me, Peter, and to my left, but to your right, as you stare with great love, admiration, and anticipation on your radio, broadcasting, or streaming device. It is the world's most interesting man, Andy Swift.
Howdy, Peter. Pleasure to be on the show.
Can I gently touch your face?
How about just a fist bump, huh?
I haven't seen you in so long, Andrew.
You're going to have to teach me again
how to radio.
Not that I learned the first time, but, you know, I'm always good to keep learning.
We'll get you there, buddy.
Okay, thank you.
I'll hold your hand.
Thank you.
Literally, the last time we did a live KickAround radio show was a month ago. Thanks, SMU football and Dallas Stars hockey.
But you know what is exciting about today's show? And
we are getting there, bud.
Is that it's an international break. And I know a lot of people hate the international break because their favorite team's not playing. But, man, I love the international breaks because I'm all national team.
I just want everybody to know that's Andy's one character voice that he does, and I love it so much. It's kind of his whiny.
Maybe I'll do a whole show with that voice one day.
That would be so amazing.
Sure, why not?
I would love it. Yes, it is the International Break Week. It is the November window. And normally we're all, Andy's right, we're all like, okay, we don't get to talk about any of the league action and this, that. But, man, I'm telling you, the last few windows just have hammered home for me how much it does kind of stink that the U.S. is a host nation of the World Cup because we've missed out on qualifiers.
Stop. Okay, so you'd rather not host the World Cup and just have them.
No, but I do. But there's a whole experience. See,
drama,
stress,
yeah.
All of it tied to going through the hex. And especially now with one game remaining in the CONCACAF qualifiers and every group of the three groups is on the line.
Drama of the highest order.
Of the most pure CONCACAF kind
and unexpected,
of
too.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
And I miss that. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I do miss it.
Well, they got two games for you, the U.S. national team, coming up here. Actually, today, right?
Yes. So they play Paraguay right at about 4 o'clock. So right about the time our show is ending, that game will be kicking off. So we'll talk a little U.S. men's national team, catch everybody up on that.
Like a pregame show.
Yes. And boy, howdy, was there some big news in the world of Major League Soccer this week. Andy, you and I are day oneers.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever in a million years think Major League Soccer would flip to the FIFA calendar and align itself with the rest of the world?
Well, if you've listened to our show, and I'm not sure if you have or not,
no, not
but
me.
you would know that we have discussed
that
this.
Show is stupid. They don't know how to pronounce names, and all they do is talk Premier League.
Yeah, no, I mean, ultimately, not surprised because we saw it coming recently, but if you go back to the early days, it surprises me that we've ended up here.
Andy, soccer savant.
But no, we never predicted this way back in the day.
No.
Recently, when it's come up and it's been a rumor, we thought yes, because you know what's going to happen eventually, right? This is what we're really talking about is Liga MX and MLS merging and blah, blah, blah. So we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Andy he sent me a text a couple of days ago and said, I would like to set aside segment 5 to make a statement and provide excuses for why Liverpool sucks this season.
I don't think I put it that way. I said I'm willing to stand in the firing line.
I have a copy of a text that I generated on ChatGPT that I will share with the world, proving that you actually said that.
I'll take your points and your questions. Now is the time. You get one segment.
And we've arrived at the end of yet another FC Dallas season, so we'll put a nail on that one, along with some other DFW soccer talk before the end of the world. But first, let's not do headlines per se. We've got so much World Cup stuff to discuss. We haven't been here. Things have happened. Things are happening as we speak. Things happened today. So let's get into World Cup nerd real quick.
Okay.
We'll start off with the fact that if you've been trying to get tickets to any of the games, best of luck to your soul. It has been very... have you, Andy, because you, just like everybody other regular civilian...
I have not won any
have you gotten
lottery.
an email from FIFA saying, here is your opportunity to go buy tickets?
No. But through a credit card that I may or may not have, perhaps I will have that chance.
No, that was the first round.
This is another
one?
Yeah.
There's another credit card exclusive round.
Yes.
Okay.
And I happen to maybe have that card.
Is this a portfolio
card?
Well,
we can't... we should mention the card because that's...
Can you not?
I don't think so. I think this is a sponsored type thing with FIFA.
All right. I don't want to get in trouble. But so the second round. So the first round was the original Visa sponsor. We can say that was the official sponsor of the first round. If you didn't get an email then, well, a few days ago they opened up round number 2.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten that email. And I also heard that in round 2, the prices went up. The dynamic pricing.
That means there's more demand.
Sales went so well in round 1. FIFA went cha-ching.
Yeah.
Sales go up. The other maddening thing that happened this week was that the global media caught on to the idea and ran with it like wildfire that parking spaces to drive and park at any of the World Cup games might cost you as much as $175. And everybody in the United States looked at that headline and went,
just moved on to the next thing.
Yeah, welcome to the United States.
Yeah.
Now, of course, they're not mentioning that the 175 is the parking spots for parking right up and next to the building.
Correct.
Not in lot Z.
Yeah.
Which will still be $50, $60, $70 probably.
Yeah, actually parking will be limited because FIFA they have a perimeter where you can't even get cars very close to the stadium.
Yeah.
Like it's miles.
Well, that's smart, I think that's smart.
Take your public transportation.
So I got a big chuckle out of how everybody freaked out over parking, especially listening to football podcasts from overseas.
Yes, but see, those, if I may.
Please.
Most of these pundits, fans overseas don't drive to the games.
Right.
So what are they all up in arms about? They're just finding something to get all up in arms about.
Well, that's what I was thinking. How many people going to a game at AT&T Stadium? I guess maybe that would be one of the more prevalent.
You know who will pay $175 per parking?
People
those
that
live
here.
Those that it'll be like nothing. Like it's not even because they're so VVIP.
Jerry Jones.
Yeah, like I guess yes.
Right.
He probably won't pay for, but you know what I'm saying.
I hear you. So anyway, that's the ticketing stuff. It continues to go on. Andy and I will continue to reinforce in you, the good P1, do not freak out. There will be tickets for sale, especially after the draw on the 5th, for games across the United States where you will be able to get in for less than $100 because it'll be a really bad matchup in the middle of the day. And there will be plenty of tickets because it's a 90,000-seat stadium.
Plus, Peter has a fixer. Don't you have a ticket fixer?
Not an American.
Oh, not over here. On the other side. Okay.
I have an English one, not an American one.
I thought we could just turn to you.
So everybody just hold on to that. Now, since we last talked, Andy, we have other nations that have officially qualified and added their names to the list.
We have. So a few weeks back, we had 2 more from Asia. They went into a playoff. The Asian playoffs were played, and they survived the playoffs. That's Saudi Arabia and Qatar. So that news came out 2 or 3 weeks ago.
So goalkeeper for FC Dallas, Martin Paz, who switched his allegiance to Indonesia because his grandma was from Indonesia. and was playing in the qualifiers. They did not make it. They failed to qualify even to the playoff round. They're out. So his dreams of making the World Cup are over, at least for this particular one.
Yeah, they Indonesia they're still in the development stages.
Well, they came a long way. They went out and got a high-level coach and got a bunch of
they advanced. They did into later
They got
rounds.
to the late round. They just couldn't pull off the needed results.
Right. So it's Saudi Arabia and Qatar. But just recently, out of Europe, we had England already qualified as the first team out of Europe to qualify. But now we have two more. Earlier this week, I think it was Thursday. Mm-hmm. We had France. They're the second team from Europe to qualify. And yesterday, dude, do you know Croatia qualified? Do you know who's still wearing the 10 for Croatia and playing?
Luka
Modric
the original
is
Luka,
still playing. He might play this World Cup.
The real Luka.
Yes.
I was wondering, I've just assumed that since he's playing in the qualifiers, like I am with Messi, they're both going to play.
They should take him because the rosters are expanding, right, to 26. Uh-huh. Guys like that in the locker room are so valuable. I mean, they would be his fifth World Cup.
And you know what? He'll be one of the best players in the tournament.
He can come in the 80th if they need, a playmaker.
If you listen to the very beginning of the show, yes, FC Dallas's Petar Musa scored the winning goal for Croatia the other day, and that helped them secure their spot in the World Cup. That's a big deal. It'll be interesting to see if he ends up getting this is his first call-up in 2 years, and he was playing so well for Dallas. It'll be really interesting to see if he can get a spot on the roster.
He started, and it was a game. I mean, they needed 1 point out of those last two games to qualify, so it wasn't like a ton of pressure on the team. But the fact that he started that match and they called him up.
And it was a good goal.
It was a good goal.
Great finish.
I watched the game, too, just watching him play just next to Luka Modric. It's like, now we're 3 steps removed from Luka, right? Because he plays in Dallas, and we're one step removed from him, and then so.
That's even closer than Christian Pulisic playing with Luka Modric.
Well, they share the same. No.
So that's a lot of fun. Real quick kit question for you, Andy. Do you like this bigger Czech design Croatian jersey?
I'm old-fashioned. I like the old
smaller checks,
tablecloth.
The tablecloth.
Yeah. Do you like the big one? I think you like the
small. I like the traditional one.
I think more people will wear this, third parties, than anyway. So we do have several teams in Europe that are on the brink. And by on the brink, I mean in their last game, they have to avoid losing 8-0, or they need a tie against the worst team in the group, things like that. Those teams are, for example, Switzerland is that close. Spain needs to avoid a big loss in their last game to go through. The Netherlands needs a draw against Poland. No, they need a draw against Lithuania, which is a given. Austria's just about through.
Belgium couldn't get a result against Kazakhstan.
Yeah,
today.
but they also need to avoid losing by a lot, and they're through. Norway is one of these teams on the brink, which is great, right? Erling Haaland, Norway.
Lars is so happy.
A bit of a surprise only because the team that really should have qualified directly to the World Cup out of that group was Italy. So unless Italy beats Norway,
is that game tomorrow?
8-0, the 16th. When is that? What's today?
Today's the 14th.
So today's the 15th.
Yeah,
so yes, tomorrow.
Yes,
Italy hosts Norway, and if Norway can avoid losing about 8-0, Norway will qualify to the World Cup directly, and Italy will
again for the third straight.
Again, go to the very convoluted UEFA qualifier playoffs, which I guess we should talk about. Look, I've studied the playoffs and how it all works. This morning, I thought, you know what? I'm going to spend some time trying to figure out if I can explain this in a very easy to understand manner. And the answer was no. All second place teams advance to the playoffs. Hold on. I'm going to give you 3 points and just take this away. That's 12 teams. 4 additional teams will join them. The 4 best teams from Nations League group play.
A completely different tournament.
They are then going to create 4 paths to the World Cup.
Stop it. My head is so tired.
Of 4 teams each. where one winner of those 4 paths will qualify directly in the World Cup. Guess when they're playing those games? March. So there will be 6 teams.
Are those games happening the same time as the international?
Correct.
Okay.
It's all happening in March.
Where are they playing them?
The UEFA games they're playing in Europe, depending on who's
Who
playing.
ends up? Okay.
Yeah, the higher seed will host.
Okay. All right.
Which means when the draw takes place, there will be 6 TBDs, 4 from Europe and 2 from whoever wins the other playoffs. See, all that's so tired.
I have tried to read the explanation for UEFA's format for qualifying for the World Cup this time, and it is the most Byzantine, ridiculously over-the-top, stupid setup. And it's all because they tried to manufacture excitement over the Nations League values.
Right.
Because they're trying to get teams that played well in the Nation League a secondary shot at qualifying for the World Cup.
Yeah. The secondary shot is given to all teams that won their group in Nations League, no matter which level. Nations League has the
tiers.
The top tier, the second tier, the third tier, and the fourth tier.
Yeah.
So if you won your group in the fourth tier, you have a chance to qualify into these playoffs, even if you finish last
in your
group.
Qualifying group.
In your qualifying group.
Yeah, it's the dumbest thing. Don't even try to understand it. It's really silly.
Okay.
And it's all still very much up in the air. Lots of games going on today, or most of them are over. There's some being played right now. There are more games tomorrow and then into the week, as Andy says. Lots of things. Germany, of all teams, if they don't get the result they need later this week, they will have to go through that playoff process.
There are three games that are good games coming up.
Well, hold on.
And we'll review those.
Yeah. Let's take our break. When we come back, we'll get into what European teams, and then we got to talk about CONCACAF, because CONCACAF's qualification is absolutely bonkers, and we'll talk about it next year on the Kick Around. The Yanks are back at it, straight up 4 o'clock, in one of the last remaining games before the World Cup for the U.S. men's national team against Paraguay. And we'll talk about that in a bit of detail coming up in about 15 minutes. Welcome back to the Kick Around. Yes, Andy and I in the nurturing natural bosom that is 2 to 4 on a Saturday here on the Ticket. We haven't done this in a while. But here we are, talking more World Cup.
Yep. So Europe will be defined by Tuesday. Those are the last games that will be played in Europe. Who advances directly and who has to go to the playoffs. And we know that France, England, and Croatia have already advanced directly. So 3 matches will be played between now and Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday. That the 2 teams playing each other, one of them will be playing for a direct advancement. Germany and Slovakia play each other in Germany. Slovakia, if they win that game, if they beat Germany in Germany, Slovakia would advance directly. The Germans just need a draw, and they would then advance to the World Cup. Denmark and Scotland, a little bit depending on what happens today, because they're both playing right now during the show. But if Denmark and Scotland, if the scores play out as they stand now, Denmark and Scotland, they do play in Denmark on Tuesday. And most likely Scotland, with a win, would qualify directly to the World Cup. Denmark would just have to get a draw. And then this is the surprise one. Kosovo will play Switzerland at home on Tuesday. If the results hold as they are now, and they're, I think, at halftime, a little bit after, Kosovo would, with a win, would qualify directly to the World Cup.
That's amazing.
And send Switzerland to the playoffs. So that's crazy. Spain.
Okay, I got a question. Mm-hmm. So historically, we all tend to think that UEFA as a confederation is so big that it sometimes the qualification process has been too easy for the biggest nations to get through.
Yeah.
And while I have criticized this current format for being too Byzantine and complicated, it has provided a litany of opportunities for major nations to really sweat it out.
A little bit more than normal. When it's all said and done.
When has Germany last been on the precipice of
not qualifying? Yeah.
Italy is...
if they don't qualify directly, they'll go to the playoffs, and then Germany will qualify.
How about this? The only major European nation that has just flown through this is England. France, it may be a slight second.
Yeah, I think, For example, Spain has to play Turkey, and if they don't lose by a lot, they qualify straight through. I mean, Spain had it pretty easy. Croatia, France, England, the Netherlands.
But you said something to me before the show that I thought was really interesting. So much of these groups how many groups were there? 8 of them. 12 groups.
Yeah.
Were really soft.
Yeah.
Like you look
they're always kind of soft. This is the difference. In the past, the top 2 teams would qualify directly to the
through.
Right? So you have your A team and then your B level team, which is good. In Europe, those teams are good. And then 3 more pansy-like teams, right? And it would always be difficult for one of those bottom 3 to crack the nut. Now, the second place team doesn't qualify directly. They have to go to this playoff.
And that's all because of the Nations League
and it
component.
just creates a little bit more drama. Okay. Netherlands, all they got to do is get a result against Lithuania at home, so they're likely through. Belgium against Liechtenstein, same thing. And then Portugal has to get a result at home, I believe a draw, against Armenia. But they won't have somebody that game, will they?
So if you were watching, Portugal played Ireland, and Ireland upset Portugal. They were really dominating the game. It was and to the point where at the end of the game, with about 30 minutes left, they were playing in Dublin, and Ronaldo got really frustrated. I don't remember the name of the Irish center back that was just he was in Ronaldo's pants the entire game. Whoa. He was all up in Ronaldo's business, shoving him, body checking him. And Ronaldo was getting madder and madder and more mad, eventually to the point with about 30 minutes left, when a ball comes in, crossed into the box, Ronaldo can't shrug him off without throwing the elbow.
The dreaded elbow.
Guy goes down. The ref initially gives Ronaldo a yellow card, and then, of course, on VAR, because it's pretty obvious and pretty violent, he ends up giving him a red card. Now, Ronaldo's doing the crybaby hand gesture to the guy that's on the ground. He's getting mocked by all the Irish fans, and he leaves the field. And now they're saying, depending on how this plays out, because if Portugal in their last game went out, that would be game number 1 that Ronaldo will sit his suspension.
Right. They're going to play that game anyway. That's game 1.
That's game 1. What's up in the air is if they win that game and get a direct entry into the World Cup, and they decide that red card is deemed violent conduct, which means it's a 3-game suspension, he would miss the first 2 group stage games of the World Cup.
Who would be crying then? Imagine that.
Yes. Oh, I should say this. A lot of people have asked me this question. How is Ronaldo getting to come play in the United States with all of that, with the fact that there was a warrant out for his arrest in the lawsuit? Was it a warrant for his arrest?
No, that was dropped. The charges were dropped.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's the answer to the question.
It never got to that point.
There was a chance that if he had come to the United States during that time, they would have pressed charges against him. But all of that has since been dropped. So if you ask me the question, how is Ronaldo getting to come to the United States and not get into legal trouble, it's because all of that stuff was dropped a few years ago.
Yeah. And they won't bring him back up.
And they won't bring him back up. Okay. But now he's going to miss maybe the first 2 games of the World Cup, which would be
Would you be bummed
crazy.
if Portugal played in Dallas and you didn't get to see Ronaldo play?
Well, I'm never getting tickets to that game anyway.
You're such a pessimist.
Okay. Well, yes, that would bum me. I would like to say that I got to see Ronaldo play in a World Cup.
All right, just to finish up with UEFA, then these playoffs that all these second-place teams and the 4 Nations League teams that get to play in this tournament too. That'll be played in March.
Right, which is also when the international playoffs will happen in Canada and Mexico.
Yeah, no, just Mexico, I believe.
Just Mexico.
Yeah.
And that will be made up of the leftover CONCACAF teams, Asian teams, the CONMEBOL team.
Bolivia, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
Right.
Now, CONCACAF.
Yeah.
We don't get to play in this water this time, but as always, the drama of CONCACAF is pure.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a pop quiz. I'm going to give you the teams in each of the groups, and you tell me who the favorite team was in your estimation prior to this starting. And you kind of know what's going on, so you'll know. But you have a group with Panama, Guatemala, El Salvador, and Suriname. Who would be the most likely to advance? Maybe Panama. Who would be the least likely to advance? Suriname. So Suriname is in first in that group with one game to go. Okay, so let's go to Group B, and your teams are Jamaica, Trinidad, Tobago, Bermuda, and Curacao.
Jamaica.
And then who's likely to finish last? Curacao, 125,000 population, right? Who's in first place?
Curacao.
And then Group C is holding form a little bit more. Honduras, Haiti, Costa Rica, Nicaragua. You would have said, Costa Rica, maybe Honduras. Definitely not Haiti.
No.
And Haiti's tied for first with a chance to advance directly. So all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, Costa Rica losing to Haiti, and I think that game was in Costa Rica, wasn't it?
They drew with Haiti 3-3 in Costa Rica. And then they lost in Haiti, which they don't play them in Haiti. They play them in Curacao because Haiti can't play at home. They lost to them there 1-0. But Costa Rica's downfall was they drew against Nicaragua on the road, which,
Yeah.
do.
By the way, we'll talk about Major League Soccer a little bit later. Their striker for NYCFC tore his ACL in that game. And
Costa Rica's?
Yeah, Costa Rica, Martinez. He's out for the playoffs.
So we have a situation where advancing directly to the World Cup from CONCACAF, you could have Suriname, Curacao, and Haiti, all Caribbean teams.
The ones you probably least likely would have ever put money on.
Yeah, and then you have you'd have Jamaica, Honduras, and Panama, two of those three playing in that playoff.
Now, there's a playoff, and that would give us a fourth team, and then, or does the fourth team then qualify for the international playoff?
They advance two teams to the international playoff.
2 teams, okay,
yeah,
that's what it is.
The best 2 second-place finishers.
I should say the CONCACAF World Cup qualifying format isn't that much less Byzantine than the UEFA one.
Yeah, so Costa Rica would be the one that would be the surprise not advancing out of that group, right?
Yeah. Wow. So we'll know all of this. We won't know all of this
by
until
Tuesday,
until middle of this week.
Tuesday.
And then there's a draw in December.
Yeah, Friday the 5th.
So on Friday the 5th.
You're talking about the playoff draw?
The playoff draw.
Man, that's a great question.
I saw that listed somewhere. There's not the draw for the World Cup itself, the draw for both how UEFA's going to play out and for the international.
Yeah, 20th of November.
And that will then determine where and who's playing
Thursday.
Where. Yeah. Are we going to go to Mexico and see some CONCACAF playoff qualifiers?
Is that should we go in the RV that we're going to rent to go watch games all around the country?
We absolutely should. That would be actually, you know what? I bet that would be quite a great adventure. We could take John Arnold with us. Make him host us.
There you go.
Have you seen John's travel video series he's started? He's started doing CONCACAF travel stuff.
Yeah? Nice. Okay.
It's really, really good.
All right.
Yeah. Kudos to John, man. That guy's hustling. You need to check John Arnold's video series stuff out. It's kind of like CONCACAF football Anthony Bourdain style.
Nice.
It's you'll dig it. You'll totally dig it. All right. So there's you a 2-part or 2-segment World Cup nerd. Man, it's getting so close, Andy. Can you feel it?
Man.
Do you have World Cup fever yet?
December 5th, that's the draw. When that happens, I think that's going to just slap us in the face and say, this is it. We are here.
Will we be together in the same room on the day of the draw?
What do you mean by
hanging out together, watching the draw together?
Most likely not.
Oh.
No. I have official activities.
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
Well, it's not hoity-toity. It's work.
It's very hoity-toity. It's the hoitiest of the toitiest. All right. There you go. World Cup stuff. Now, 4 o'clock, the U.S. men's national team's playing, so let's catch up on all things Yanks next here on the KickAround. Oh, boy. Major League Soccer is going through some big changes for season 31. All announced this week, and we'll discuss those in some detail and with some opinions here coming up here on the KickAround. Welcome back. It is good to be in our natural habitat of 2 to 4 once again, Andy and I together. Now, we won't be back on again until after Thanksgiving due to scheduling and holidays and all that stuff. But thank you for listening. We do appreciate it. Now, the U.S. men's national team don't have qualifiers, obviously.
They don't.
They only
you keep
have
reminding
these
us, Peter.
stupid friendlies, and they've got their last. Will they play any other friendlies next year?
Yeah, in the spring, of course.
Okay, but they're not.
Yeah.
It's okay. All right.
Yeah.
This is the last window of this year.
Yeah.
So they've got Paraguay today at 4:00. You'll be able to watch it on TNT and a bunch of other outlets. And then they've got Uruguay on Tuesday.
Bielsa's coaching Uruguay too, right?
Yes, Bielsa's Uruguay.
Our old friend.
I feel like they just played Uruguay a couple years ago, recently.
They did. It seems like, yes.
Yes.
Was it Copa America? Anyway.
Oh, that's what it
Yeah.
was. It was the Copa.
Two legit teams, by the way. Good scheduling here by the federation.
World Cup qualified teams, yeah.
Both qualified, both legit, both good. Similar but different styles as well. Uruguay more of a counter. Well, I think Paraguay probably plays very similar to Uruguay in that regard as a counter-attacking team. So, for me, looking at the call-ups, to me, this is a window that is clearly about finding depth. Like, this is the last window I think Pochettino has to figure out those last spots.
Yeah.
Right?
And it also got that way in many ways because Jedi Robinson is still not back from his knee injury. This season for Fulham, he hasn't started a game. He's only played 61 minutes across 3 games. And he's now essentially for Fulham still listed as out with this knee thing. And the U.S. needs him in a bad way to get right. And I'll explain a little bit more about that in a second.
Yeah.
And also Tyler Adams because of his head collision.
Pulisic is not coming.
And Pulisic
he
isn't coming.
Rest.
Right.
And then McKinney also.
He didn't call up McKinney.
To get friendly with his new coach.
I guess.
But hold on. So there's a pattern here. All these guys are more or less, nobody's a slam dunk, but they're legit guys that will make the team, right? The World Cup team. Richards, another one, right? He's not called up.
No,
correct?
Richards. No, he did not call up. Richards has an injury.
What do all those guys have in common?
I think Weston is on the bubble. Now, Weston played very well in the last window, and I think it would be wild if he ends up not making the roster.
I think there's two things. You're on the bubble to make the team. You're on the bubble to start. And I think Weston is on the bubble, start or not start. I think he's going to make the World Cup team. I think he's got the pedigree, and the one thing that Pochettino didn't like about Weston was the way he took care of himself and how he conducted himself leading up to matches and camp and all that. And I think Weston showed him last camp that he was different, that he's going to toe the line, and right.
You think he did enough to justify giving him a pass this window because of the coaching situation at Juventus?
I believe Pochettino thinks he needs Weston on the roster.
Okay.
Man, can you imagine if he didn't call Weston?
I said months ago, I am 100% convinced that when the final roster is announced by Pochettino, there is going to be shock and awe.
Okay, yes, no, for sure. There always is. How about if I position it this way? This is the last window for the guys that are going to be depth or are going to replace some guy we think are slam dunk. This is their last chance to make their case.
I agree. Christian Roldan is maybe one of the best examples of this. I don't know what Christian Roldan does in the background, but Mauricio Pochettino loves Christian Roldan. Quote, the perfect player.
I've heard he's really
quote.
Good in the room as well.
I've heard the same thing. I've heard that for years about the guy. He has played very well for the national team. He comes with the baggage of being an MLS player and all of the criticism or scorn or dismissal that comes and arrives with that. He'll obviously start today, so they play at 4:00. He's matched up with Tanner Tessman, another player, formerly of Dallas, who is fighting for his position on the roster. See, I think Tessman is one of those guys that's on the bubble to make the roster, probably not a starter.
Right, correct.
That's it. And then the other player that is starting today in the midfield, Giovanni Reyna.
Yeah, this is his chance. This is his window to...
The return of Andy's favorite American.
Yeah, come on. it just got tiresome to talk about Gio and that. But they say new look Gio and listen that. Whatever,
all right, so they'll go at they will line up at 4:00 against Paraguay in Philadelphia. Freese is in goal. The NYCFC.
And then we'll talk about goalkeeper here in a second.
Okay, in the back, I think I'm reading this correctly. This is just they don't have the formation set out, but this is how I'm reading this. So this appears to be Tim Ream, Miles Robinson, and I think Joe Scally in the back three. And then as your wingbacks, because remember, Pochettino has switched to 3 in the back. I'm assuming that's what this is. Dest is going to play on one side, assume the right, and Max Arfston, everybody's whipping boy, the young guy, MLS player, on the left. And then in the middle, Tanner, Christian Roldan, and Brendan Aronson. I am assuming Brendan's playing in the midfield, and up top, the trio will be Balogun on one side, Giovanni Reyna on the other, and who am I forgetting? Oh, I guess it's Aronson on the other side. So, that's how it's set up.
Yeah, and so I'm sorry, who's in the middle then? Tessman,
Reyna, and Roldan. No, I'm missing somebody here. This is how I hate this way.
You got me very confused.
I do, and I'm confused myself. I'll find it. Just keep going.
Jeez. Okay, so we can agree then that this is the window for those guys that were on the bubble to make it or not make it. This is Pochettino's last chance to take a look at some of these guys. This is their last chance to make a point, to prove themselves, before then we move on to the next window, which then we shift into who should start and who should not start, right? And by then, because Pochettino, by the next window, has to have an idea of who at least 23 or 24 of his 26 guys will be. And this is the last window he has to figure out those last few slots. And the other thing we should mention here is that because of injury, Pepe, who we assume has got to be part of that 26, Pepe should be a given, but Pochettino has to see him play because he really hasn't seen him play.
No, I would assume we're going to see Pepe either sub in and then start maybe the next game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I do want to talk about goalkeeper because Turner got left out, right? And so are we to assume Freese is the starter here, or is Freese starting for now, and he's going to look at the 3 other guys he called up?
Well, I think he was going to look at other guys. So the other players are Celentano, the keeper at Cincinnati, Jonathan Klinsmann, Jurgen's son, who plays in Italy, and Schulte that plays for the Crew. So why not start one of those 3 guys if you're really serious about? Because
you also got to have Freese get comfortable, and with his teammates, or maybe he does start one of those. I think one of those 3 guys, he's looking for the third keeper right now. Turner is number 2. Yeah. I'm assuming how I read this, right? Yeah.
So the way this is going to line up, let me go back to the lineup. So it's 3-4-3, some variation of that. 3 in the back, I assume, are going to be Robinson, Tim Ream, and Joe Scally. The wings will be Dest and Arfston. In the middle, it'll be Roldan and Tessman, and the 3 up top, or however they form that, will be Balogun in the middle, Gio on one side, and Aronson on the other. It'll probably be one of those guys come back and play kind of as a 10, probably Gio.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how it'll probably somehow, some variation of that. Those are your 11 guys. So there you go.
Yeah, today the starters. And he's looking at other things too, those guys in camp.
Well, see, the reason why this is interesting is because obviously switching to 3 in the back has been the switching point that went from everybody freaking out about how bad the team is to suddenly going, okay, there's something happening here. It happened in the Japan game when he switched during the game against Japan.
Yep.
And it's been good because it helps solidify and close some of those spaces in the back line because you don't have the best center. You don't have 2 world-class center backs. Chris Richards, great, but you don't have somebody to pair with him, so you go to 3. But now that really puts the pressure on the qualities of these guys playing these wing-back positions, and that's where I think Jedi becomes so critical to whatever level of success the U.S. has in the World Cup.
And your midfield as well.
Absolutely.
Well.
Absolutely. But this formation is all about width and those 2 guys driving up and down the field, being good enough in defense, but being really good at providing crosses and bringing danger in the attack.
So we're good with Dest. That's the other one, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, Dest, we haven't seen a lot of Dest since his return from injury, and obviously we still don't know what to expect out of Jedi. Yeah. I think the way this is looking now, just kind of looking down the road for the national team, the U.S.'s ability to progress in the World Cup is going to be largely tied to how those two positions play across the course of the tournament. Yeah, if they're using this formation.
Yeah, and that's the other thing he has to find out is he's got to find out how these guys can play that three-man backline without Richards in the mix. So this is actually this is why this window is figuring out all those things. The next window he'll start to figure out, okay, who are my 11?
Yeah.
And then Diego Luna is the other one that's fighting for his World Cup spot here.
I think he just loves that kid so much, for sure. I don't know if you saw, we were talking about Balogun and Pepe. Both of those guys scored some really nice Champions League goals.
They did. Mm-hmm.
And we are in this weird space with the national team where the position we are most concerned about is not striker.
Yeah.
And it is goalkeeping.
I know, which is crazy.
It's bizarro
for the U.S. national team to have. Yeah. Pepe, too. Pepe, man, he's just a goal scorer.
He is.
He plays, he scores. Yeah. I mean, he does it at the club level, at the national team level. If he's healthy.
Well, I mean, not just Balogun and Pepe. Haji Wright's been playing well for Coventry.
Also.
It's... Again, that's what's so crazy about this is that I'm not sweating that as much as I am who in the world's going to play in goal. And the idea that they would end up starting in the World Cup a guy who's playing for an MLS team, I think is great for MLS as a league, but not what I was anticipating.
Well, but Turner too, he's MLS.
Well, he is now. Yeah, that's true.
So they're going to be MLS.
That's right.
The thing is,
the only one that's not MLS is Jurgen Klinsmann's kid.
Yeah. So Turner got left off. To me, that says we know you. It's not a knock against Turner. I think he just needs these slots for this window. Yeah. He needs to figure out who his third guy is.
So what I'm looking for today, and it's against Uruguay, is this continuation of the U.S. kind of dictating games, not letting the game be dictated to them. And these are two better teams.
Yeah, but these teams play that way. They play where they want you to come to them.
Yes. But that's what I want. I want the U.S. to prove that they can take that opportunity and get results. I don't think they have to win these games.
Yeah.
This is more about how the team plays and how much better they are at creating opportunities than anything else. The results of these games mean very little unless you blow both these teams out by a bunch of goals or you get blown out by a bunch of goals.
So your prediction, does Gio convince you or does he not convince you?
Here's
prediction. That's a prediction. How is he going to do?
It would shock me if he does anything that really super impresses me over the course of these two games, just because he's not playing regularly.
Yeah.
If he was playing regularly, if he was in good enough form that he does something for the national team, you'd think he'd be getting more time and doing more in Germany with Mönchengladbach.
Yeah.
But he's not.
No.
But I appreciate the fact, as much as I'm down on Gio and dismiss him, I do admire the fact that Pochettino is willing to give the guy yet another opportunity.
Oh, yeah, and he's going to call up Michael Bradley as well because he's got Klinsmann in and he's got Gio in. Let's bring up all the He's got Berhalter.
And now
Sebastian Berhalter made the roster as well.
Yes,
so
true.
He's got all kinds of ex.
Will he call up the newly euthanized Landon Donovan with all his new hair that looks so much younger these days?
No, he's not a coach's son. I'm talking about the coach's sons.
Okay. All right. Very good. So there you go. 4 o'clock on TNT versus Paraguay. Check it out, the U.S. men's national team. When we come back, Andy would like to make a statement on behalf of Liverpool next on the KickAround.
No.
I got myself backwards. Andy's official statement on the state of Liverpool will happen in the next segment, not this one. I apologize. Andy is watching diligently as Scotland and Greece battle it out, and going down 3-0 to Greece in Greece. Scotland now has battled back to 3-2, and so Their chances of qualifying straight out.
They have a chance. They play Denmark Tuesday. They win at home against Denmark. If these results hold, they're through.
Just real quick, I noted something. Tomorrow morning in the NFL, the National Football League, the Dolphins and Commanders will be playing the first NFL game ever in Spain in the new Real Madrid Bernabeu Stadium, which is obviously now got a roof, a retractable roof.
Have you seen video?
And also the field comes in and out.
Yeah.
The same thing the Spurs has.
Yeah, state-of-the-art grass field, 360-degree video board.
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
The grass field gets dumped down underground.
Yeah.
The turf field pops up. Yeah, it's very cool. So when you flip it on tomorrow morning at 8:30 or whatever it is, you're watching Real Madrid play their games. So, all right. What a crazy week this was in American soccer, because the word, this has all been floating around for some time, which is that Major League Soccer and its ownership has been discussing for a long time and finally voted on this week the idea of flipping the calendar. Remember, MLS plays a backwards calendar to much of the world, not all of the world, but much of the world, which, Andy, you were there at the beginning days. What was the reason behind originally why MLS decided to start in August and start in March and end in.
You can do this, Peter. You can do it.
December, November, whatever it was.
Well, I don't know the exact reasons, but
the general reason.
Yeah, it's to not compete with NFL, right?
Well, the facilities they had at the time also didn't make it easy.
Yeah, they played in NFL stadiums and
college stadiums.
The fight for dates. Yeah, exactly. And slow time of the year, sports-wise, competition-wise, so, they chose summer to play in.
Available TV time.
All that stuff. See?
Yeah.
You're well-versed. Why are you asking me?
Well, because you were part of the original group.
Yeah, and traditionally, that's when outdoor soccer was played in the U.S. So I don't think we ever thought, we were talking about it off air, I think, that we would get to the point where one day they would flip the calendar.
Well, they are. Yeah. So they voted this week to officially flip the calendar. It will not start until the second half of 2027.
Right. And I think there's a missed opportunity there.
I do
to have done it right after World Cup.
They should, yes. And for whatever reason, I think a lot of it had to do with teams in the North not having all of the facilities. Some of it had to do with teams in the North not having indoor facilities that would accommodate that. Yeah. Sponsorships, contracts, all this other little business
They couldn't do it because they needed more lead time to do it. And when the vote got delayed, then that wasn't going to be possible.
So what they'll do, which also now cues up this very weird little thing where they're going to have a mini MLS season to start 2027. It'll launch in February and end in, I think they said May. Mm-hmm. And it'll be like 14 games, and it will count as an official MLS season.
Okay. Right. That'll be the 2027 season.
Yes.
Because after that,
you know what's going to happen, right?
Seasons will be 2027, 2028. They'll be like hockey and
you could already see the script that is written, can't you?
What?
That'll be the MLS Cup that Dallas wins, is the truncated 2027 season.
Will the trophy be any different?
Yes, it'll come with the asterisk.
No,
it will always carry the asterisk.
It'll be the 2027 season.
I'm saying it now. I don't care who wins it. It could be Dallas. It could be the Galaxy. Now, it won't matter if it's the Galaxy because they've won MLS Cup so many times, nobody will care. But if some rando team wins it for the first or second time, there will always be a little giggle when somebody says, oh, they're the MLS Cup champions. They won it in the mini season.
But what about that team that wins that first one, that first inverted season?
That'd be great, yeah. So now the season will start in August and will play through May of the following year with a significant time off of about 6 or 7 weeks, covering December through January into the earliest part of February.
Yeah. It'll start after Super Bowl Sunday. They don't want to compete.
Right.
Yeah, they don't want to start with Super Bowl Sunday.
Now, this is the amount of consternation and outrage that I have read about this on the social medias, which is not a real place. Well, a lot of people from the northern markets.
Yeah, other than people from the very northern markets. Who's outraged?
You know what? You know what I say to those people? bundle up. It's your turn for 30 years.
Right.
By the way, you're even getting, this deal is so good that you're not even having to play in your most extreme weather months of January.
Yeah.
We've played through June, July, and August for 30 seasons, y'all. And you didn't give 2 squirts when we were starting games at 105 degrees.
Try selling tickets at the Cotton Bowl August 12th when it's 118 outside. Yeah, I didn't think so.
That's right. So this is a great deal. Now, I did read one person's really thoughtful and impassioned speech as they thought this was a bad idea. They're a day one kind of fan like you and I are, and they're very worried about the fact that now you're putting these games up against the meat of a lot of the biggest part of the American sports calendar. Like you avoided NFL for a lot of MLS seasons. Now you're going up against it.
Well, are you? Yeah, you are. Yeah.
You are. You're going through the entire.
But you are not having your most important games during the NFL season.
But now they're up against the NBA playoffs and the NHL playoffs,
which is a less formidable foe than.
And
the
baseball's
NFL,
getting ready to crank up.
So you think it's worse from that perspective?
I don't. This was this person's argument.
Okay.
I'm just trying to present the pros and cons.
Yeah, look, there are pros and cons for sure. But ultimately, I think it's a net positive.
So
it's a net positive. Do you agree?
I agree. I think the league has to do it for sales purposes. Everything else, it just makes more and respect, etc.
Hold on.
Makes sense.
Wait, you've left out the most important reason why it's a net positive. Because as they align with the international calendar, the transfer of players.
That's what I said. Sales purposes.
Okay. It sounded
selling
like
players.
Yeah.
Yes.
It sounded like you meant tickets.
Oh, no.
Because we were just talking about tickets.
No. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah.
No, selling players, it makes way more sense for selling players.
It'll affect some teams in the millions, revenue in the millions.
Yeah. It'll be a huge deal.
Yes. Okay.
So the next part is the biggest surprise is they're again going to change the format of the league. And now they're going to go to this quasi-single table.
Okay, quasi-single table. You either have a single table or you don't.
Well, it is, except that the way that the schedule is played isn't everybody plays each other twice, once home and away. The way it'll work is that the 30 teams will be divided up into 5 groups of 6. So Dallas will likely, there's all these kind of people
like football divisions.
Like football divisions. You will play those 5 other teams twice a year, home and away, and then you will play the remaining teams outside your division once, either home or away, and that'll switch from season to season. And then at the top from the bottom, you'll have a final table. Now, I will say, this does begin to add a little bit of legitimacy to the Supporter Shield, which is a prize that I have largely dismissed because shields are supposed to only work on point totals on a balanced schedule.
Okay, but this won't be a balanced
Well,
schedule.
it's a little more balanced. It's slightly more balanced because everybody at least plays everybody. In the current section, teams don't even play each other, much less equal a number of times.
Okay. Are we one day just going to get to single table? Wouldn't that be great?
Well, yes.
Everybody home and away.
So if you have 30 teams, you've got 29. How many games is that? That's the problem with this.
58 games.
Yeah, your season's too long.
Yeah.
That's and then they're also going to change again the playoff structure. I don't know what that's going to look like yet. So that's a big deal. Okay, again, net positive decision. The other big news, and this is the one that's created a lot of the hoo-ha, which is the announcement that the Apple TV MLS season pass package, which was the additional fee you had to pay on top of being an Apple TV subscriber, has been eliminated. So if you're an Apple TV subscriber, meaning you watch Ted Lasso or Severance or whatever, all their awesome sci-fi shows, you will now get every MLS game.
Pluribus.
Yeah, it's great. You'll get all of the MLS games at no additional cost. And if you're an MLS season ticket holder, previously you got the season pass package for free. Now you'll get a free subscription to Apple TV.
Okay. That's a win-win.
Now, this has driven all kinds of noise about this is an indicator that the deal failed, and they've changed the structure of the deal. They've shortened it from 10 years to...
I think it's an indicator that not enough people were paying for the extended package, but I think this is actually a good move for Apple, for MLS.
Let me make I just want to... As somebody that was in the streaming business, I'm telling you, what everybody needs to remember is that when MLS signed this deal with Apple, one, it was the best option on the table financially. It gave MLS what it needed. MLS has had two problems historically: revenue and television ratings. Well, they're always going to have television rating problems, but they needed the revenue that Apple gave them. For Apple, this was always an experiment. It was an experiment into getting into sports streaming. And so what they wanted to do is test the market. If we can sell subscriptions for Major League Soccer, we can sell subscriptions for anything. Yeah. So note that what's coming is free MLS as part of Apple TV. You know what else is coming? F1.
Yeah. That's so part of the Apple. Yeah.
F1 is not going to come with an additional subscription. So this, you can criticize this move or make fun of it, or
when this came out, I think that's how we positioned it. We very much said this is.
We have. Yeah. I think a lot of other people are focusing on the fact that this means it failed. I'm just saying this is just part of the larger experiment.
No, it did. I think that if the numbers would have been strong enough to not get rid of the paywall, they would have not done it. So it's fine. I'm happy with the move just because I think. I think MLS will now get a little bit more exposure like it used to from the casual fan, and that went away a little bit.
See, Bob Sturm, our friend Bob Sturm, is convinced that FC Dallas has completely fallen off the radar everywhere, and he blames the Apple deal.
He thinks that so many people were watching it on whatever. Yeah.
He says, nobody asks me about FC Dallas anymore, and I think it's all because it happened when they signed the Apple deal. And I'm like, no, it's because the team's not very good. But that's another thing.
Peter Musa, man, come on.
That's not enough, man. So anyway, MLS is changing. The schedule's changing. The format is changing. All of it is happening.
Yeah, so from the KickAround's opinion and perspective, we are positive.
Yeah, thumbs up on all these things.
Yes.
All of this is very, very good news, even for those who don't like the league. For people that don't like the league. This just makes it harder to not to like.
Okay, okay. Oh, you're talking about the soccer hardcore that...
They're just like, I don't want to watch MLS because it doesn't have promotion relegation.
Yeah, right. This is just one step closer to the aligning with Liga MX, right? I mean, this had to happen before that could happen.
Something's going to happen. Yeah, it's all happening. All right.
Steps
there
are
you go.
Just being taken.
MLS is maturing in year 31. I can't believe year 31. All right, when we come back, Andy is going to take the podium and make a statement about the current state of his Liverpool next on the KickAround. For the 30th time, we have come to the end of a FC Dallas Burns season, and we'll recap that along with some other DFW soccer items before the end of the show, probably in the next 15 minutes or so. Here on the KickAround, welcome back. Andy and myself, Peter, are here. Now, Andy, as you all know, is the de facto KickAround, an official fan of one Liverpool Football Club, the current reigning Premier League champions.
Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What was that? Can you repeat that?
The current and reigning Premier League champs.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But at the same time, are struggling. In fact, I just want to point out that Liverpool currently sit in 8th place in the Premier League table.
Are they below Man United?
They are. They are. I think the difference, because they're tied on goal differential of 1, I think the tiebreaker is wins.
Goal scored.
Is it goal scored?
That would be the next one, yes.
So how in the world has Man United scored more goals? So anyway, Andy sent me a text the other day saying, hey, I would like to reserve segment 5 of this weekend show.
I think my text was, let's get this out of the way.
I would like to make excuses.
Because it was going to come one day or the other.
For Arne Slot.
There are no excuses.
Please, the floor is yours.
This team sucks, to quote a very famous ticket drop.
You've already given up on it, haven't you?
No, of course not. So, people are like, oh, what's wrong with Liverpool? I don't know what's wrong. Lots of things are wrong with Liverpool. And why are they struggling like this? I wish we knew exactly why. I think it's a combination of things. I think the one thing that we have to point out, that is important to point out, is that Slot and his championship and that team winning last year, he was good as the new coach and first-year coach. But, man, and how often do we see it in other sports? That was a lot of it was Klopp, right? It was Klopp's team, and because Slot was such an approachable guy and a good manager, and he had success, and the team was so good that a lot of people just we stopped giving Klopp some praise for the team that he built. So I think that's one factor, is that it's no longer Klopp's team now, and they got really changed, and part of the reason they went with a lot of changes is because the team was aging a bit in the back, but also up front with Salah. And I've been telling you this for 2 years. Salah worries me because, he was very good last year, but at his age, it can just happen, right? And that's what I would say, man, his extension is scary because it's just going to happen.
But you wanted them to
You had to do
it.
it. You had to do it. And for everything he brought, you have to do it and spend the money.
But is what's going on currently with Mo, is that a byproduct of this deceleration due to age, or is it because of all the other factors going on with the team?
Well, I think it's a combination, but they feed each other, right? And I think, but part of the reason they went out and signed all these guys they signed was because they, doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that the Salah would hit the wall one day. We didn't know when exactly, but they had to go and get reinforcements for that day, and so those are having to be incorporated into the team. And there's just too much change. Again, what was something I told you in the offseason, right, that I feared? Mm-hmm. I said this.
All these new people.
This is a lot to happen at once, and I don't know if all should have happened at once. But I do think management, they have the trophy. They're like, well, if we're going to do it, let's just do it. We have a little bit of a grace period here, right? Mm-hmm. That if this doesn't start off well, we're still coming off the championship. So, and so we have that. And it's just been difficult, I think, all these changes. It just hasn't been as seamless. And because Slot the transition to Slot as manager was so seamless, we thought, he can then do this with player transition, but it's not the same. And, the pressing has been off.
Yeah, their pressing is way less than it was last year. But part of that is
Salah.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so
when you watch,
there are a lot of factors. And
when you watch your Liverpool play, whether it be Premier League or Champions League, what is the one thing that most glaringly sticks out to you as a problem?
To me, remember how silky smooth they were in midfield? Mm-hmm. How effortless their ball advancement into the other third, the opponent's attacking third was. That's just not there now. It's wonky now.
So is that because of Wirtz?
Well, it could be. I mean, it could be like new faces, new players in new positions, some missing guys. A little bit of inertia coming off the championship. I don't know.
All right. How much of this, if any, do you chalk up to the death of Diego Jota? The mental effect, the strain, the impact.
I hadn't even thought of that.
Really?
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that because, it happened before the season started, and it was very emotional, and they got off to a relatively good start record-wise, but we saw problems, right?
I've wondered about this. I mean, obviously, if you were a teammate of his and that happens and he tragically dies, the impact that it has on you personally and mentally, on the field, off the field. And I also wonder what the impact was on all of these new faces that just walked into this locker room who may have only kind of known of him or not met him or hung out with him, not had that relationship, and how they deal with that. I think that would be a really difficult and awkward transition.
It takes time away from integrating, for the group to integrate.
I mean, your new teammates are all in the middle of grief and mourning and not really spending any time getting to know you and integrating with you. So I think that's part of it as well.
I think it's a very good point. and it probably had something to do with. I don't. That is again. That is one factor. I just think there's so many little things that all add up into this, like the goalkeeper situation. I think I miss Allison, and we, at the new goalkeeper,
Mamardashvili.
Yeah, it's a hard name to pronounce. I have to learn that one. I know he's great, right?
He is great.
He's great, but I haven't seen great yet. And Allison was great.
Mm-hmm.
Allison was great. Is great.
Yeah.
He's just... and so he's not Allison yet.
It's a team in transition, and they dumped a lot of change on the team at one time. Obviously, there's now off-the-field things going on with it as well. We're so early in the season. I know everybody's ready to write them off as a Premier League title challenger. So much can change, and there's so much talent in that team. The current holders of the trophy, I am not ready to write them off. I know they're, 8 points behind?
8 points with 7 teams ahead of them. That's the tough thing, too.
Yeah, so much is going to change between now and even the end of the year.
Okay, what you have to look at it this way, though, too, is they're trying to catch Arsenal. And Arsenal's
sure. But look, Gabriel, their very important center back, just got hurt with Brazil today with a groin injury.
Yeah.
How long is he going to miss for Arsenal? Now they've got the center back they signed who's been really solid, but man, you're always just a couple of injuries away from your season completely tilting. And I do think that a lot of that gets impacted even more with the World Cup coming up, because are there players that are like, dude, the World Cup's coming up, I got to be careful. That changes things.
Perhaps.
And so
but that's true for a lot of teams.
I realize 8 points seems insurmountable, but I am not ready to write Liverpool off in any way.
No, top four is, they're 1 point off top four. That would be a disaster, not finishing top four. And
for sure.
But I do think if they can get it together in time, maybe a run in the Euro. In the Champions League.
I think the thing that has happened this season that has caught everybody off guard, obviously Sunderland being in fourth at this stage of the game and getting some of the results they've gotten is completely unexpected. Nobody, even Sunderland fans, had that in their bingo card. But I think the real surprise, at least for me, and maybe I was just off the mark here, is how quickly Pep has got City turned around and looking dangerous. And Pep being willing to change what he does to better fit this collection of players, being more willing to play direct and going behind to Holland, allowing Dooku to do more things other than playing this very restricted position that really locked down Grealish for so long, allowing him to come more into the middle and do... Jeremy Dooku the other day, that game he played... the other day was one of the single best performances I have ever seen in the Premier League. That performance was outstanding.
Yeah, I didn't get to see the game.
Oh, it was one of the very rare times I have finished watching a Premier League game and went, that player was off the charts good. It wasn't just a team thing. Jeremy Doku was unbelievable in that game. He had an assist and a goal. Really, really good, and Pep has kind of unleashed him. So that's the thing that I think if I had a reason to think Liverpool is now in a more difficult situation, is because I wasn't prepared to think that Pep had this thing turned around as quick as it appears to have.
So what you're saying is Arsenal and City are going to duke it out. Okay.
At this point, that's what feels like is the case, but unlike many people, I'm not ready to write off Liverpool.
And Liverpool, the other issue is in the back. They're just not as good defensively, and I think part of that is not having Allison back there. By the way, I'm very impressed with so do this for me again. Pronounce Georgi Marmadashvili's name.
Mamardashvili.
So how do you do that so well? How do you do that so well?
Well, Lars helped me, for one, is Georgian, and I literally, unlike I normally do, sat down and practiced it a whole bunch because I was tired of not pronouncing it correct. Mamardashvili, yeah. And even that may not be completely accurate, but I'm doing the best I can.
Let's call him Georgie.
Yeah.
Let's just call him Georgie.
Yeah. The Doku game against Bournemouth is the game I'm talking about.
Yeah, I didn't see that game.
It was really, really good. Well, Andy, I hope you're doing okay. You in your Liverpool pajamas.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just looking at that trophy every other day and just relishing in the fact that we're the defending champions. No.
Well, we go from Andy's trophy-holding Liverpool to Peter's not trophy-holding FC Dallas and the rest of the DFW soccer scene. We'll talk about it next year on the Kick-Around. I failed to mention earlier in the show that both the U.S. men's national teams, U17s and U20s, were participating in their respective World Cups, and both got knocked out in the knockout rounds by Morocco.
And also in the Olympics earlier.
That's right.
Morocco, too.
I had forgotten. So is now Morocco officially the U.S. men's national team nemesis nation?
And all in the knockout round. So, like during the draw, if you're hoping they don't get Morocco in their group, actually, you hope they don't cross with Morocco
right.
in the round of 32. That's what we don't want.
That's right. The Olympics, which would be the U23 team, the U20s, and the U17s. Yep. Yes. By the way, the U17s, that kid Sullivan, who's playing for Philly but has a contract with Man City. He's a wonder kid. Yeah. He is really, really good.
Did you watch any of the games? Or anything?
I only saw highlights.
Oh, okay.
So did you see what he pulled off in one of the games to win? They had to play a late game against Kazakhstan or Turkestan or something.
Was it a Panenka?
He took a PK, and with the game on the line, he executed a Panenka and scored it. In a World Cup, like a game to win your group, you were 17 effing years old, and you not only attempt it.
He's not even 17.
It hits a Panenka.
Yeah. There you go. Kid's got.
I don't know if I like that.
No?
Well, it just seems too bravado and.
Actually, if you see the keeper dive and you do that, you're good, right?
You got to finish it.
Yeah, no, I know.
You got to finish it, man. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there you go. Sorry, I meant to mention that earlier. Yes, so everybody watch out for Morocco, the U.S.'s new nemesis. All right, before we finish up the show, let's get into the fact that lots happening here locally on the soccer scene. You seem thrilled to get into
No, it's
this.
just before you get to FC Dallas, they're just talking about locally. There's another team that's started up.
Well, it hasn't started officially.
And I asked you, like, something about rodeo came up in my feed. I'm like, what's this rodeo? And Prosper's.
And it's in Salina.
Like, it's Salina, okay, up there, Oklahoma.
They call it North Dallas.
Yeah, Oklahoma. And you're like, no, yeah, it's another one of these soccer teams.
Man, we are.
What level are they? What?
Okay, so let's reset the table.
Okay.
About a year ago, a new team came into our vicinity called Texoma. And there's an ownership group, and they launched a USL 1 team, which is the third tier in Texoma, and they play in Sherman, Texas.
All right.
That team has struggled, both in terms of attendance and on the field. They did not make the playoffs.
Okay. Maybe if they won more games.
Maybe. But there's not a lot else going on in Sherman. Okay. So, getting a few thousand people to show up to a game was always a thing. So then it appears that ownership group has decided that they would be better off with a team a little further south in a partnership for a new stadium development in Salina with the school district.
Oh, like a high school football stadium.
I guess, like a school district stadium.
Gotcha.
And so what they have done is they've taken Texoma, and I've never heard of this before, but this is a thing. They self-relegated. So Texoma SC will no longer be a USL 1 team.
Okay.
They will now be a USL 2 team, which is essentially amateur soccer, like semi-pro.
That's Division 4?
Division 4, largely designed for college students.
Okay.
I don't even know how NIL plays into all this and losing your eligibility anymore, but that's kind of how it's explained to me.
So Texoma no longer will be?
They'll be called Texoma SC. They'll continue playing Sherman, but they'll be a USL 2 team.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
All right?
Okay.
Now there's a new team, the same ownership group, with this agreement with Salina, will launch a new team when the stadium is finished, and it will be called, Rodeo SC.
Are they worried like people
Salina.
Are like?
And hold on, and it will take Texoma's USL 1 slot.
Got it. Okay. And they're not worried people get confused and thinking they're going to the rodeo and.
I wasn't a part of these marketing and branding meetings,
Okay.
Andy. But does that answer your question?
Yeah, that we just have another semi-pro team in the area because we don't have enough.
I'm telling you that by the time 2028 rolls around, you will have FC Dallas.
Yep.
You will have more than likely a USL Premier, the new top-tier USL
That's
league.
Atletico.
Yep. Dallas playing in the Cotton Bowl.
Okay.
You will have another team in that same league playing at the new Farrington Field in Fort Worth. It's yet to be announced.
Okay.
You will have this USL 1 team.
Yeah.
You will have Dallas Trinity playing in USL SL as a women's team.
McKinney. You have a team in McKinney.
Well, hold on, I'm not done.
Oh, okay.
The Fort Worth team that I mentioned a minute ago,
Okay, yeah.
they also will have a women's USL team playing at Farrington Field. You will have the McKinney Chupacabras, which is a semi-pro team playing in McKinney.
Okay.
By the way, pulling about 4,000 people a game, which is outstanding.
Okay, yeah.
And then you've got Denton Diablos.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
You've got Fort Worth Vaqueros.
Yeah.
I mean, we have so much stupid soccer going on here.
Our own pub teams, right? They're part of the equation.
Barachos, Inferno. You got Steve Davis's Sunday kickup game.
So much soccer.
It's unbelievable.
Sidekicks, huh?
Yes.
They still alive?
No. Sidekicks and Outlaws are they're in hiatus.
Okay.
As MASL has, I think, deemed it at this point.
It is. Look, I'm not. This is great that
Are you
there's
suspect and doubtful?
so
Andy?
much soccer that's coming our way, but I just worry because selling one soccer ticket is hard.
We've had a hard
Right?
time selling seats, like selling out one MLS team for
yeah,
30 years.
It's not an easy sell, especially in this market, competition, blah blah blah. So I just worry that some of these teams are going to struggle. But maybe there's a niche in each of these areas, and if they get very community oriented and just draw from their area.
Maybe soccer has turned into the difference between radio and podcasting.
Okay.
Radio, you're used to having massive listeners at any particular, hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of listeners at any, and in podcasting, you're feeling pretty good if you get a couple hundred people to listen to your podcast.
Much like radio and podcasting, you also have to pay bills.
Yes.
So traditional radio pays the bills.
Yes.
Podcasting does not, for the most part. So
no, it does
yeah.
not. No,
Right.
no, it does not.
Okay.
All right. So since we last spoke, FC Dallas's very valiant attempt to make something out of a miserably bad season came to an end as they lost to Vancouver, who, by the way, are really good. That game between Vancouver and LAFC that's happening on the 22nd is going to be an outstanding game. You guys should watch it, and it's free on Apple TV, by the way.
Is it fair though to look at the FC Dallas season and say it was a tale of two halves, two seasons? Because there was the pre-Lucho. Look,
yes,
that's
the easiest way to say
that was a factor.
Oh, 100%.
The signing Lucho, which we both would agree they should have done, and we would have been mad had they not done it, and it was rolling the dice, but it was a good rolling of the dice. And look, it didn't work. And then they moved along quickly from it, but the team was not good with him.
No. And it was better without him, but it was also a team made up, and it was the second smallest roster spend in the league this year. The Hunts have a very clear way of operating their business, and I respect it. It's like, hey, we're a business. We're not going to lose. We're going to lose money, but we're going to try not to lose, especially when you're in the middle of spending all that money trying to rebuild your stadium.
And you have a capacity of only 11,000. That's max.
Lost all kinds of revenue and all that stuff.
So, but then what was the record after Lucho left?
It was less losses, more ties, about the same number of wins. But it coincided with the fact, through this weird happenstance, that the five other teams around them in the table all cratered. So while Dallas's record went up and they improved quite a bit, the five other teams around them all literally S the bed and allowed Dallas to end up in seventh place and get into the playoffs.
It's a 34-game season, 32 whatever, and other teams playing it, and that's how it works. The record is the record.
It is, but very rarely does it coincide with five other teams around you all going, badly. It helped the situation.
Sure. Okay. I mean, those teams going badly helps other teams get more win. It doesn't matter. It's all in the wash. All teams play the same amount of games, and the season is the season. My point is that ultimately they were an average team, mediocre maybe, ultimately, right? I mean, a poor start, a good finish, relatively speaking. But was it too far removed from what the expectation was in Quill's first season that how they would end up? Like you, I don't think you had them much higher than where they ultimately ended up, right?
No, I never thought. Even when they signed Lucho, I was suspect about how good the team would be because there were just so many other missing parts or young parts or injured parts.
Yeah, and a new coach.
Yeah, and a new coach. I mean, a lot of it just didn't make a lot of sense, and the Lucho part never did. The bonus to them is they were successful in getting rid of him and essentially getting their money back for him by selling him to a team down in Brazil.
Too often teams, ego or whatever, pride, they don't move on from something that didn't work out.
Fail fast.
And huge kudos to the team for finding a buyer and moving on quickly.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I think that enabled them to finally squeeze into the playoffs. They met Vancouver, who's very good. But Peter Musa, that is something I don't want this team to not take advantage of having. You know, this asset is such a he's so good.
He just scored the goal that sent Croatia to the World Cup.
Right.
It will be interesting to watch if Dallas gets a big bid for him from a big European team to go play somewhere in Europe in the championship in England, for example.
But if they can have him one more year, build around this asset that you have and see what you can do.
Again, I think the specter of the stadium project is such a financial weight and on this team. I just wonder how much that works into their planning of what their ambition is on the field.
Okay.
And I kind of understand it. I mean, I have my problems and concerns and criticisms of the stadium project in general. And I do think it's unfortunate that the fan base is having to shoulder the burden of that project in terms of the game day experience and the fact that the team itself probably isn't going to be good again until after the stadium is done, which may not now be till 2028.
So you don't predict there'll be a playoff team next year?
Oh,
well, we don't know. I mean,
but Andy, I've been doing this for 30 years. Making the playoffs to me is meaningless.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't mean I want a competitive team that's fighting for championships. That's how I.
Well, we'll see who they off-season acquisitions too will matter.
We'll see.
Yeah,
lots to happen.
Yeah.
And a new calendar coming up sooner than later.
Yep.
Andy, it was so much fun to do Kick Around live radio with you once again.
Yes.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure to be on the show.
Yeah, thank you, P1s, for being patient with us. Now, we will not be on next weekend because I'm traveling, and then it's Thanksgiving. We'll be back sooner and later, but we do appreciate you. Thanks to Cam for doing tickers, EA for producing, and Trammell for running the board. P1s, we do love and adore you. Get stuck in and win your 50s.
Broadcasting live from the TXU Energy Mothership at Victory Plaza, hard by the AAC. This is Sports Radio 96.7 and 1310, The Tick. KTCK AM Dallas Fort Worth, KTCK FM Flower Mound, a Cumulus station.